Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I'm your editor-in-chief, Jerry Dovey, and this evening, I've got the amazing honor of having the progenitor of Ova Media Group, Ova TV. He's an amazing personality, someone who's fought her way from the bottom to having her own. She's getting recognition and flowers from the likes of Forbes magazine, etc. Her name is Cassandra Cooper. And I am amazed that we got an opportunity to talk to her. She's doing some business with one of our affiliates, the Hype TV, and we want to get to know her a little bit more. Thanks for being with us tonight, Cassandra.
Thank you, Jerry, for having me.
All right. So like we discussed, from the outside looking in, besides my little pitiful intro, from the outside looking in, who is Cassandra Cooper?
Well, she's a daughter.
Let's start.
She's a daughter, and I think a decent human being, a person with a dream and a purpose. And I kind of turned that dream and the purpose into what is today the Ova Media Group.
Okay. So what was the defining moment that brought you to the entertainment industry? I see you got one of my favorite MCs behind you, MC8. So you've been around doing things, making a difference in people's lives for a while, but what brought you to the entertainment industry?
Well, MC8's my first gold record, and so this is my good luck charm. This guy travels with me everywhere, and it has a dual meaning for me. That album is called We Come Strapped, and that's my philosophy. And everything that I do, we come strapped and ready. So this is why this hangs wherever I sit every day. That's where this is.
Okay, well, I don't blame you. It's a good memory, and I happen to love the MC. By the way, he's dope. So
yeah, me too.
All right. So talk to me about what's going on. You and Hype TV are coming together to make a move. And how did this come about and what's going to be the end game?
Well, the end game is world dominance always. But the steps in between that and now is to really just to define the Hype TV brand and the Ova TV brand as a collective and provide some good content. You know, there's already an enormous audience in place at the Hype TV via the Hype magazine and things that Jay has done over there. And, you know, Ova TV, we're at 800 hours and counting and getting ready for a national debut on Comcast. Awesome. So the synergy between the two companies just kind of made sense.
Okay. So we don't see a lot of our people take on a television network and push it to the edge like you've done. And like you said, you're going to have a national launch soon with Comcast Cable. That's big. How did you manage that, and where did they see you as fitting in? Because obviously you're filling a void in the Comcast world.
Yes, absolutely. I have one of the members on our advisory board, Adam Glickman, is actually who facilitated that. He had relationships with Comcast and he let them know about us. He said, you know, this lady's over here producing content and she's on all these platforms and yada, yada, yada. Why don't you guys have her on your platform? Why aren't you running it over TV? And they said, oh, yeah, we heard about them. So I was pleasantly surprised that they were familiar with our brand before we actually had the initial meeting.
So they were familiar with you, but they didn't have the guts enough or the insight enough to reach out to you without getting pushed?
You know, I think that
my words, not hers.
In all businesses, I think everybody has a wait and see attitude. For us, we've kind of this is year 3 for us.
Okay.
And that's typically in the TV space. If you can make it past year 1 and year 2, because it's a very cost heavy business to be in. All of our outlets, all of our platforms, our providers, the satellites, all of that stuff that go with it, it's cost prohibitive for most. And so I think it's kind of like, let's see if they can sustain themselves. You know, is it a sustainable brand? You know, can they build an audience? Can they deliver the content? So there are a bunch of behind the scenes things that happen that make one a contender for a national rollout.
Okay. So what was it that you saw, not only as an entrepreneur, but as a Black woman? What was it you saw that was missing that we needed? Obviously, we need more opportunities for Black women, Black creatives, Black producers and directors and things like that. But beyond that little small piece, what was it you saw that was missing that you could provide for the entertainment industry at large?
Well, I've been all of those things. Obviously, born a Black woman, to a producer in Hollywood with limited options with regard to our content. Every time that I went out to sell a project, they were looking for something violent. Oh, we don't want love stories. We don't want human interest. We don't want history pieces unless they're slave related. And that was frustrating because I come from a family that's very diverse. We've got the professor, we've got the lawyer, we've got the cousin who's on welfare with the 5 kids living in the projects. So our stories are that diverse. Neither one is more valuable than the other. They all need to be told. And I figured out the only way that was going to happen was to stop asking people to see us not as one-dimensional angry Black women, right, but as women who come from a family similar to yours. We all have diversity, and it's important that those stories have that same amount of diversity.
It's always irritating me to no end the fact that they either want us, and forgive the term, they either want us cooning or they want us being a savage. Not Correct. The fact that we can be rich, wealthy people, innovators. I mean, when they did the movie about NASA and the Black women who were behind the mathematics and logistics of getting people to the moon, I was shocked. I'm like, somebody really had the guts to tell this story. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
And we've had a significant place in this country historically for a long, long time. There are right. thousands of stories, thousands of inventions, thousands of creations that are from people like our grandmothers and so on. Right. And again, why aren't their stories told? Why don't they matter?
So you provide a safe haven for creators to bring those stories and disseminate. So like, you got about 120 million households upwards that you have access to. You're on Roku, Apple TV, Fire Stick. It's an amazing platform that you provided to others. So what is the most satisfying for you about being in the position that you're in right now?
Honestly, for me, I have a niece who's a very successful RN in the world. And again, all Black families, we are all different hues and different hues, different ilks. We come from different places. And my niece is a dark-skinned, beautiful young woman, successful. And she says the same things to me all the time is, that there's nothing for me. And I said, what does that mean? She says, I don't see me. I don't see representation for me. So when she tunes in and sees a movie with a lead that is a beautiful chocolate sister like herself, that is personally satisfying to me because again, representation matters. And we understand as Black people, we're all hues, all different hues. Right. And so it's important for us to see ourselves as we are, not as the world sees us, but as we see ourselves.
Yeah, that's a mix. I mean, it's kind of wild. You either have presented either the ethnically ambiguous Black woman who was so light that she was too dark for the white kids to play with and too light for the dark kids to play with. They're being presented, and then you have the really dark person who's usually male, not female, as a representation of style and strength and things like that. But they forget about the nuances of color in between those two. And our women are beautiful at all stages and all hues.
Absolutely. Nothing better. I take nothing away from any other ethnic woman, but Black women are beautiful and we need to be represented as such in all hues, all sizes, shapes, and colors.
What's the most exciting thing that you have coming up on your slate for you? I know that you've got creators delivering content of a year round. What are some of the pieces that you're most excited about that are coming up on Ova?
Well, we partnered recently with Bentley Kyle Evans, and he is the gentleman that started the Jamie Foxx show and he worked on the Martin show. And so our scripted content is coming out from that studio under his direction. So I'm
Okay.
super excited about that. I hope that we have a Martin or Jamie in our midst.
Okay. What about content that's been prepackaged, that's being delivered, that you're pushing out?
Well, I mean, we have a little bit of everything, you know, a lot of talk shows, a lot of judge shows, a lot of reality shows. And so I wanted to make sure that we touch on the movies of the week so that we have some diversity with regard to that. And then again, as I said, the scripted content that we're doing with Bentley is super exciting for us. I think as a network, you really don't get your niche until you create something, you know, organically from scratch. So
yeah, Netflix didn't really hit until they started doing Netflix originals and things like that. It was just
absolutely.
It was just a what was the name of that company?
Yeah, they were just licensing other people's content, you know, and that's the game. Until you build yourself up, until you build a catalog large enough, that's kind of the space that you're in. Either you're producing it all, which is virtually impossible to do because the burn rate on content is so quick. You know, once it's aired one time, it's kind of it's dated now. That people don't mind looking at it a second or third time, but for us, it's content that needs to be replaced.
Okay. Yeah, the attention span is not what it used to be. I mean, I still watch Sanford and Son.
As do I.
I'm so glad somebody bought that catalog. And then, you know, I'm amazed though that our attention span for shows is as short as it is. You know, what a season used to be, what, 12 weeks, now it's 8 or 10. And, you know, they're cutting it short when they don't have an opportunity to develop characters like they used to. So
exactly.
How do you plan on changing that with your original content? I mean, with your original series, will it be longer seasons?
Well, I'd certainly like to tackle that, but I mean, I think we are following the standard model. So our seasons are 13 episodes with regard to the scripted content. And so that's as close to a new season pickup on a network. Typically there's 6 episodes, 6, 13, and 26 is technically a full season.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, for the layperson, we just got a little education. I didn't know it was as short as 6 episodes, but
yeah,
that makes sense. If they can only put 6 songs and call it an LP nowadays, I guess 6 shows could be a full season of television.
Well, they believe that's enough time for it to either get you invested in the character or to move away from that series and on to the next.
So what does your writer's room look like when you're developing original content?
We like lots of wine in the writer's room.
I am not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. So you're hands-on all the way from the development of the story to the different meetings, casting, and all of that.
Absolutely. I mean, we're still a young network. And so at this point, I can't let the baby go running wild. I've got to make sure that the content remains consistent with the brand. So that puts me in the hot seat in every department, with the writing, the casting, obviously the funding, the distribution, the production.
Right.
I wear all of those hats at present. I mean, I've got a great support staff that's with us, but at the end of the day, it's still my responsibility that what hits that airway is it represents what the Ova brand is about.
Okay. Well, I want to, wish you much continued success and definitely congratulations and a thank you for the intestinal fortitude to follow your dream, to make it happen. Because not only are you making it happen for yourself, but you're providing opportunities for other people to feed their families and, hone their craft and deliver material that might otherwise fall by the wayside. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. And before I go, if I could share with you that our company, we operate out of South Central Los Angeles. We moved into the neighborhood so that we could be closer to our people and to our stories. We recently received a grant from the Drew and Lauren Holiday Fund to help us continue some of the works that we do. And as a part of that, we had to learn how to crowdfund. something that I've never done before. Everything that we've done to date has been out of our own pocket. And so now we're in the middle of a crowdfunding campaign that they put us through a training with Fund Black Founders and Crowdfund Better. And we are 7 days away from our deadline, our goal. So we're a few thousand shy from hitting our $25,000 mark. So I'd love to share with your viewers. This is a rewards-based crowdfunding campaign, meaning you are purchasing T-shirts, hats, hoodies, something similar to what I have on.
Okay.
And in exchange for your contribution. And that contribution goes just to continue exactly what we're doing over here. As I said, it's the very first time that we've ever stepped out and asked the public to buy in.
Okay. Well, why not? I mean, others do it for nonsensical reasons. They get crowdfunded for nothing.
Absolutely.
So definitely has a solid mission. We definitely support that. I'll definitely get that out there. You want to give them the link?
Sure, it is. Absolutely. And I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to share it. It's fundblackfounders.com/Ova Media, OVA Media, MEDIA, Fund Black Founders.
Fundblackfounders.com.
And they were just a recipient from Google as well. Really? Fund Black Founders just received a large grant from Google to continue doing what they do, which is funding Black business.
Okay. All right. Google, Sprite, everybody jumping on board right now. We the flavor.
It's on trend right now to be Black. We've always known that we were the curators of cool, but I guess now the rest of the world is acknowledging that.
They don't have any choice, because if we take the cool away from them, they're gonna fall flat on their face.
That part
right there. Yes, I said it. She don't have to say it. I don't have to be politically correct. I'm not required to be politically correct. I'm the editor-in-chief. I can say what I want to say, doggone it. As long as
that's right. Say it again. Say it again.
I'm the editor-in-chief. I can say what I want to say. And I'm doggone it. I'm not apologetic. And thank you once again for being
with me. Thank you, Jerry.
I appreciate you. I look forward to talking to you again. And please come back and keep us apprised of all the new developments with Ova Media Group.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Jerry.
All right. Good night. Talk to you again.
Okay. Bye.